Has the PDP learned
Yeah.
anything from the internal fracas that it had, which cost you, of course, 2023? Or are we seeing a historical repeat of it as 2027 approaches? Well, now we know that, the cracks within the party have been there before 2023, but have you learned anything from it with the board of trustees and the meetings that you've had with NEC, with the governors forum? We've seen agreements saying that, the party is going to come back as a formidable one, but have you learned your lesson?
Oh, that's about it. A human being will not be learning lessons from their doing and undoings, from their action and inactions, from their commitment to life. And as an organization, indeed, PDP has equally learned her lessons, and some of them very bitter lessons, rightly so, because if you recall, in the course of several interviews, like you did say earlier, I mentioned to you in few of the interviews that yes, in admission, we have made some mistakes, and those mistakes, one of them was the 2023 decision of our presidential candidate then, the same Atiku Abubakar, to have taken the decision he took. But you were not expecting us as a party to denounce his decision or to, disagree with him openly, as some of us did inside. We did disagree with him in his choice of the running mate for the vice president. That was clearly because we saw the implication of leaving an Nyesom Wike in the park to go for the then governor of Delta State, Okowa, who many believed, even in the committee that was set by the same Atiku Abubakar to recommend a running mate for him, since 2019, he was accused of taking unilateral decision in his choice of running mate. Mm-hmm. You will recall then he took the former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, and then a lot of persons came out to say that it did not follow wide consultation. The decision was more or less unilateral, by Atiku Abubakar. So in 2023, in trying to, refrain from that tendency, he said he put a committee in place, and a committee of about 19 persons. 15 out of this 19 recommended Nyesom Wike to be his running mate, but he flouted that recommendation and still went with the man that came the third in the recommendation, because there was a list of 3 persons: Nyesom Wike of River State, Emmanuel Udom of Akwa Ibom State, and then Okowa of Delta State, in that order. Mm-hmm. And even the voting went in favor of these persons in that order. Nyesom Wike had 15 out of the 19 persons going for him. 1 person dissented, and then 2 others went for Okowa. So I would not see any rationale for Atiku Abubakar to now go against the recommendation that he sought and got. And so some of us came all out and disagreed with the decision, and that's why a few of us identified with the G5, because we saw the G5 as expressing a just cause, as struggling to justify the zoning arrangement that PDP had at formation in 1998, which was a rotational agreement, but not codified in our document. But then we had it on the assumption that nothing was going to go wrong. If the South hold the power for a period of 8 years, it was only rational for the North to have it also for a period of 8 years. So at inception, you will recall Obasanjo ruled the country for 8 years. And then in 2007, the North had it when the late Yar'Adua succeeded Obasanjo, until nature took its course. And the then Vice President, Goodluck Jonathan, altered the equation, rightly too, because that's what the Constitution provides. And so he took over. And that was where PDP started getting its problem. But then, suffice to say, at some point in 2015, when we lost power, it was only natural for wisdom to prevail by allowing a resetting of the, way things are done. And then that's why some of us did not see why, even in 2019 and 2023, when Atiku Abubakar got the chance, he will not be able to do the right thing for us to win the election. Because Mary, come to think of it, Marianne, the simple truth is that a very serious political party with a presidential candidate of Atiku's experience would have won that election for us in 2025. I mean 23, because all odds were in favor of PDP. That there was an APC that has, brought Nigerians on its knees, that has, taken the country back to Stone Age, where we started. A country that was grappling with inflation, insecurity, and all what have you. And so it was for PDP to say clearly, oh, you people were fairly better until 2026, where you conceded, in an election, even before counting was over. You accepted, you had a gentleman president who could have rigged that election, like you and I know. But he accepted, he said, yes, we lost the election. Nigerians are done with us. They wanted something different. And so here is your country. I'm giving it to the victor. Before official announcement by INEC, we accepted the loss, congratulated the victor, and then called him over, for transition. That's what you have in very serious political party if democracy is truly what we are pursuing. But we saw the desperation that followed 4 years later when Atiku Abubakar supposedly won that election in 2019. But the late president, Muhammadu Buhari, said, no way. They deployed all the arsenals at their disposal to ensure that we were rid of that election. It was repeated in 2023. But then one would have expected us not to have done the mistakes we also made in-house. Why should we lose Kwankwaso? Why should we lose Peter Obi? Why should we also lose 5 governors led by Nyesom Wike and still turn around to tell Nigerians we wanted to win that election?
Did you actually lose those governors, or the governors were in your party working against your party? Because I was waiting for you to land to piggyback on what you said, that's why people like you supported the G5 governors. You supported a group of people who worked within your party to destroy it, and as we speak right now, your party is still healing, and I don't know how long that's going to take.
That's not exactly correct, Marianne. These guys in question, a week to the election, were still willing to support the PDP. They were acting out of frustration because, like I did say earlier, there was this gentleman arrangement of the zoning. The South and the North were expected to have this zoning, rotational presidency. If the North is able to have it, it only behoves on the North to concede it the next time for the South. But then we flouted that zoning arrangement. When in 2015, Atiku Abubakar was in the race. In 2011, he was in the race. In 2007, he was in the race. And then in 2019, the South was asking for that opportunity. He was still in the race and he got the ticket. And then he was not able to placate the other members of the party, particularly the South. And this was the undoing. And so some of us were saying, no, if you must have it, then you have to reach out enough to be able to assuage the frayed knives. This was the problem. It's not as if these persons just felt they should go against the party and they went against the party. They were misgiving. Their misgiving was justified. They wanted us to adhere to the arrangement that we have always maintained, North-South, dichotomy. So this was it.